Hawk Talk headquarters here. I don't usually make commentary, but I wanted to in this case. This was boy, talk about taking a village. I mean, it was a whole community effort for this bird, from the finders, and I didn't ask their permission for their to identify them, so I won't. But they're have a heavily forested 30 acres over in Forsyth County horse trail. She was out riding the horse, saw the bird down on the ground. I mean, it was a miracle the bird was seen. So, I mean, I think they got it, or either they got it or someone from Georgia Wildlife Network got it down to Veterinary Emergency Group down in Alpharetta. So shout out to them. They've been a big help helping us triage and do basic first aid and x-rays and stuff like that, which is what they did for the bird. I picked it up. Mickey from Georgia Wildlife Network found a doctor that would do pro bono wing pinning, so that was a miracle. And then Jim and Diane, who volunteer for Georgia Wildlife Network, they did the transport from my place down to Decatur for the operation, and then brought it back to me, and then took it back for a recheck. And so 1 week before the pin was due to be removed, and it wasn't a complicated break, but it was kind of a complicated apparatus that she used. It's an external fixer. It looks like it's got like a little cage on it or something, and that helps prevent the bones from rotating when they're, while they're setting. So 1 week before the pins were supposed to be removed, she broke out of my 24-foot chamber. I was in shock. My emotions ran the gamut of being really mad to being humiliated, embarrassed, because I had to call this doctor and say, I've lost my bird. Okay, 40 years, this has never happened to me. And I was just so, I made it all about me. How can this happen to me? But anyway, so shout out to Samantha that lives about a half a mile away because the bird got hung up in her fence. She found it and I don't know, got it somewhere. Anyway, I was able to get it back. Oh, she contacted, again, Georgia Wildlife Network. Thank you guys. And got it back to me. So I called the doctor back and I said, all right, we found her. If she hadn't gotten hung up on the fence, she would probably be in Jasper by now. I mean, she wanted out bad. So, so anyway, we got the pin pulled. She hadn't eaten any food in 2 weeks. Skinny as a rail. I gave her fluids for the first day and a half to see when they're dehydrated like that, they start turning off body systems. And one of the things they turn off is their digestive enzymes. So if you were just to start off feeding this down bird solid food, they'll just keel over dead because they don't have the enzymes to break the food down and assimilate it. So that took about a day and a half to get her ready to be fed solid food. And then basically she's been eating 3 small rats a day since then, just to try to get the weight back on her. So today's the day, and it was a good release. Some people, they like the dramatic releases where they fly off 100 yards. I don't do that. I like to get a bird, let the bird go as close to a perching opportunity as possible, just so they can light and kind of plug in their GPS and realize where they are. Now with the adults, you need to get them back to where they came from within reason. Because they've got a mate in a territory waiting. So yeah, the release was great, uneventful. Those are the best kind. And just thanks to everybody. I mean, it was definitely a team effort. Well, this has been a pretty tough case. I've had him about 2 months. This, the left humerus fractured and was pinned by For Pet's Sake Dr. Hill. Shout out to them. External fixator. If I had known it was going to be externally fixed, I wouldn't have volunteered to take on the case, because husbandry is impossible when you're by yourself. If it was a screech owl or something like that, I could wrap him in a burrito, but not a big honking bird like this that wants to eat your lunch. She has not enjoyed captivity, not one iota. 1 week before the pins were due to be taken out, she broke out of my 24-foot chamber and was on the lam for 2 weeks. Shout out to Samantha down the road from me for finding her stuck in their fence. If it hadn't been for the external fixer, she wouldn't have gotten stuck and she'd be in freaking Jasper by now. But anyway, had lost a lot of weight, so got the pin pulled, looks good. We're just going to see what she's going to do today. Let's hope we don't get dive bombed by the baby owls that are out doing the zoomies. It's all right, buddy. We're going to get you back home. One of my dear transporters, Diane and Jim, shout out to them for helping transport. Diane, I felt terrible. I'd never had a bird escape my chamber before. And I had every kind of emotion you can imagine. Humiliation, grief, sadness, anger. How could this happen? I made it all about me. How could this happen to me? This has never happened to me before. And Diane said, maybe she was trying to get back to her babies. I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. Could be true, I don't know. Could be she just didn't want to be in captivity. So it's too late for you for babies this time around, but you can go out and find your husband. Go out and find a hubby. Well, we're here. I've never had such a hard time finding a place in my life. But anyway, thank goodness the finder answered the phone when I called, and he's gonna come find me. I'm out here in the middle of East Jesus. Are you ready to go home? I love you. So here we are. She's got great carriage in the shoulders. I know. Got nice and fat. She's been eating 3 small rats a day. So she says, thank you for saving me. The finder is doing the videotaping. So, okay. All right, here we go. Ready? Let's see what you can do. Let's go.